This video will dig a bit deeper than our introductory video in describing why we believe that inclusive coding instruction is so important for all students, including those who have complex learning needs. We will also describe the challenges of those students with whom we had the opportunity to work during the co-design for Debugged, our inclusive coding kits, as well as Weavely, our inclusive coding interface. If you're including coding in your classroom instruction and you have students who have complex needs, either in a special education classroom or a general education classroom, you have probably discovered that most coding applications for elementary age students are just not very accessible. We have observed teachers deal with this by having this group of students passively watch their peers engage with the coding materials, or by providing them with instruction in a small part of the coding process that is accessible. Sometimes teachers have just steered away from coding instruction altogether, lamenting that their students can't do coding. So we were fortunate that with the help of a grant from the federal government's Innovation, Science and Economic Development's Accessible Coding Program, we were able to partner with the Inclusive Design Research Centre at Ontario College of Art and Design to ensure that all kids can be meaningfully engaged in coding. We have created a debugged kit for Dash and Dot that is already available, and our Kubelets and Cubeto kits will be ready for September. This summer, we're embarking on a Bluebot kit, and we are developing a fully accessible and freely available software interface for block coding. All of our debugged coding kits were developed through co-design in general and special education classes, as well as summer camps. We worked with students in early elementary through high school. The students that we've engaged with throughout this process have had a range of challenges. Some have been nonverbal, both with and without formal communication systems. Some students had significant motor, cognitive, and sensory challenges. Some were at an emergent through early conventional reading and writing level. And some students had behavioral and social-emotional challenges. These are pretty representative, we think, of many students across North America and beyond who are identified as having special needs. Our co-design process has engaged students, their families, and their teachers in helping us to understand what is important and what works. Co-design has involved students in both Canada and the US and has taken place both face-to-face and remotely. The students with whom we worked face barriers every day that require persistence in and strategies for problem solving. They need to develop the metacognitive skill of giving instructions to another person. It's much easier to do something yourself than to explain to someone else how to get a task done. However, this group of students will often need just that skill in order to direct a partner to carry out a specific task for them. And what better way to do it than the engaging activity with a robot? The development of collaboration and communication skills will support this group of students both at school and in the community today and in the future. And they also benefit from the empowerment that results from creating something independently. And they need lots and lots of practice using technology, which will continue to be an enabler for them. And of course, as coding becomes more and more a part of the regular curriculum, and the conversation around the lunch table is about a new robot or a new robot competition, this group of students definitely wants to be a part of that conversation. These soft skills that we refer to as coding to learn skills, we believe are just as important or more important than the learning to code skills. So as we set out to design, we were guided by a number of different principles. We wanted to ensure that instruction would be scaffolded, explicit, comprehensive, and we knew that there was a need to support students in generalizing the skills they learned from coding to their everyday lives and other curricular areas. We were guided by the principles of universal design for learning, and we wanted to provide opportunities for individual, small group, and whole class instruction, providing adapted, accessible materials for all students. And finally, we wanted to ensure that we supported teachers to make it easy for them to learn about coding and to differentiate their instruction. And this is what we hope we have achieved, both in our debugged kits and in the Weavely software interface.